Hi everyone, it's James here from Pro Tools Expert, back with another 500 series review. This time we're going to look at the last of these three Elysia models. This is the Nvelope 500, a very cool way to shape the transients and tails of sounds. But this thing is so much more than that. This is about 8 modules in kind of one 500 slot space. Very cool little thing. Occasionally we have to resort to these things, the manuals, because this thing is, to say the least, versatile. We're going to take a look. Let's get up close and personal and see what this thing can do. So here we are up close on the Nvelope 500. Now, unlike the other two Elysia models we've been trying out, this one can work in a kind of dual mono capacity. Both sides can work completely independent from each other. However, I probably won't go into that too much, purely because we're sending out the same stereo drums as we've been using for the other two modules. And you know, mono mode is just that. We can use the two sides independently, but we're going to stick to stereo in this case. But I will show you how to set that up for all cases. So what have I got control-wise on the front of this thing? Well, I've got 4 pots per side: attack, frequency A, sustain, and frequency S. Frequency A meaning the attack frequency, and frequency S meaning the sustain frequency, which is really cool. I've got an auto gain button which reduces peaks in full range mode. This next button down switches between full range and dual band operation. Next one, EQ mode, knocks it in and out of the EQ mode versus the Nvelope processing function. And I've got the right on, which activates this channel or switches in the hardware bypass depending on how my next buttons are set up. I've then got my stereo link button, and I've got full range, EQ, and left on for the other channel. So first of all, I'm going to put it into what they call full range mode. Need to put the processor in, hit auto gain, and have stereo link and full range. So now actually I'm only dealing with these 3 pots. So I'm going to run some drums through, and we'll see how in full range mode, full range stereo mode if you like, we'll see how these 3 pots alone affect the sound. So drums are running. So let's have a mess with the attack. I'm bringing the attack as far up as it will go. You can hear exactly what's going on there. And frequency A, in this case, is going to reduce the number of low frequencies feeding to the, if you like, to the attack section. That's really made it a very sort of clicky bass drum sound. And this is the one I love. It's almost a way to bring the room sound back into the drums. Alternatively, we can get rid of all the sustain and lose all that kind of drum air and drum space. Now, if we wanted to, we could take this into unlinked true or dual mono mode. We're hitting that one, and unlinked. So now we're in true stereo mode, and you can hear that both sides have gone very different. Okay, so that's what they call full range mode. Let's go into dual band mode now. And this is the one I really like. So let's just get rid of full range mode. And now we're dealing with these 4 pots alone. So now, as you'd expect, attack and frequency A deals with the attack and the chosen frequency, and the frequency is marked around the outside of the pot. And sustain frequency, or the frequency S, does exactly as you'd expect. So let's run those drums through, and we'll find a nice attack frequency. Let's just flatten those off again. And we'll find a nice sustain frequency. We'll leave it in true stereo mode. Right, so let's find an attack frequency we like. Not so hot on that one. That's quite nice. You can hear how we can really bring out the sustain frequency. Great room noise there. Alternatively, we can lose all that room noise. And lose all that attack if we want to. This might be the tone you're going for. Not something I'm particularly in love with right now, but very useful. Let's find that kind of kick drum, 100 hertz kind of. Or we could lose that kind of. Let's really bring out the bass drum thud there. In dual band mode, this is definitely something you could play with to get some really cool sounds. Elysia also reckon it works really well on, well, anything that's with a high transient, a high attack. So piano, drums, overheads, full drum kit, even full mixes if you wanted to bring particular things out. Okay, so we then can look at EQ mode. So I put it into EQ mode by stereo link is on. Hit the EQ mode. EQ, not full range. And again, we're just dealing with these 4 pots here. So we now have effectively a dual band EQ. Our high end with high frequency selection and cut and boost, and our low end with low frequency selection and cut and boost. So let's just run some drums through that, see how it sounds. Let's start with the top end. It's a really smooth EQ. There's my kick drum. There's a real punch of the kick drum, that's for sure. Yeah, I quite like that. And again, if I wanted to put that into true dual mono mode, there I am now in true dual mono, both sides of the stereo EQ working together. The last of the modes for the Nvelope 500 is mixed mode, basically allowing you to have a dual band on one side and a full range on the other, which is really, really cool. So let me set that up for you. Auto gain. Full range on one side and on, and then none of that on that side. So now we've got, say, dual band on the left-hand side and full range on the other, which is quite cool. So let's run that back as well. So let's mess with the left-hand side first. There's my attack. And you can really hear how messing around with that two sides independently can really mess with the stereo image. Oh, I'm loving that. So there you go, the 4 different uses of the Nvelope 500. I think this thing's really, really cool. A great, could potentially be a really, really useful bag of tricks to get you out of some problems or create some really interesting sounds. Not my favourite of the 3 Elysia models. I have to say I love the EQ and the compressor. Certainly as a combination together, they work really, really well. But I think as an effect, or as a processor in mastering, or as a processor to change the attack and sustain of particular instruments where you've maybe not got the transient response that you hoped for, or something you wanted to use as an effect, I think this is a fantastic piece of kit. In fact, all 3 will be sorely missed when they have to leave this rack. So there you go. That's the Nvelope 500 from Elysia. Fantastic little module. Really like it. And I hope you do too. Hope to see you again on another gear review.